lovies, I'm Tasha Monet and I am back with another MC Command Center quick tips. So today we're actually going to be looking at neighborhood stories. In my last MC Command Center quick tips, Anika Posh asked me about the different settings that should be taken out or adjusted to go with the new neighborhood stories. And I figured that I could do a quick little video just looking at some of the settings that MC Command Center has that deals with the same things that the neighborhood stories does. So first we should probably look at neighborhood stories. And so when you go in your game, I always look at the ones in other households because it really just depends on if you are going to be turning on neighborhood stories for the ones that you play. I personally do not really use that, but the other households absolutely, because I'm usually not playing with them. So when you want to adjust neighborhood stories for every single one of the different households that are in your world, you would go ahead and click this button here. And so the different things that this does, it involves like death of Sims, the adoption of children or cats and dogs, it involves careers, it involves like Sim movements, and it also involves like babies, like actually having babies. So when you're thinking about these settings, you should be also looking at the settings in MC Command Center that would be dealing with those same things. So we're actually going to go into a household so that we can see which settings we can actually look at to adjust. And I just want to clarify here that I'm not going to be going through the settings that I'm currently adjusting because I have not played extensively with neighborhood stories yet and MC Command Center to really see which ones I want and which ones I do not want. So I'm still adjusting those. If I do find a system that I enjoy or that I feel works well for my gameplay, I'll definitely share, but right now that is still a work in progress. But let's go ahead and go into a household so that we can look and see in MC Command Center the different settings that we want to look at in order to make some adjustments. So we are here in a household. This is the Roberts family in Hemford on Bagley. You want to make sure that you go to MC Command Center that is on the computer. I like to do that because it has the main settings for the different things that you actually want to do in The Sims with this mod. There are other options, like you can click on a sim, you can click on the mailbox, but for all of the settings that you would want to use, I would highly suggest making sure that you go to the computer MC Command Center Pie menu. So one of the first places that I would definitely make sure that I went to check and see like what it is that I wanted to adjust was MC Career, because if you remember in the menu that we had for the neighborhood stories, careers were adjusted in some sense. So when you go into MC Career, you'll see that there are a lot of different things that can be adjusted in here. One of the things that I would really look at, because some of these things are looking at like school and you don't need to worry about that. But one of the things that I do look at is the fill career into inactive only. And I also would look at the employment ranges, not necessarily because this is going to interfere with the neighborhood stories, but just because you want to look at the mix of the different types of Sims that will be getting jobs and the types of jobs that they will have. Now, well, this doesn't tell you the types of jobs, but it lets you know, like it gives you the percentage of like how many will be employed and how many will be unemployed. The next place that I would definitely look at is the MC population. So when you click on MC population, there are a couple of things that you can see here. The moving settings, it gives you some information about like how you want things to happen. Do you want homeless Sims to be able to move in? How many apartments do you want to remain empty? Do we move out elders? Do single Sims move? Do teens move as dependents when their parents move? Do you want households that you play to be out of the whole moving system in MC Command Center? And how many houses do you want to remain open? How many homeless Sims do you want? There are a lot of settings in here that you can adjust. I also leave these settings as is in MC Command Center. This is before neighborhood stories, but again, because neighborhood stories has this thing where people can move in or move out of their homes, I would possibly even look at seeing if there are settings in here that I can adjust, because I would assume that with both of these settings, it could get a bit crazy with Sims moving all the time. But it really just depends on what it is that you would like. As I've said, I haven't changed any of my MC Command Center settings yet, and I've just been letting the game do what it does, and it hasn't been too crazy. But again, I have not played with it extensively, so that is really up to you what you would like to do with that. There are some other things in here, like how many populations things you want, but that's not necessarily anything that I think you should really care about when you're looking at the neighborhood stories. I will definitely do some videos that looks at all of these other settings, like we'll do small little videos of each of them, just looking at what those settings do, how they can impact your game, and so on and so forth. The MC pregnancy is also one that I use, and I actually adjust a lot of settings in here all the time. It really just depends on what it is that you're looking for. But neighborhood stories also deals with like having babies and adopting a child, everything like that. So I would definitely go through these settings just to see like what they are. But honestly, the really way that you're going to like figure out what works for your game is to play around with these settings. There's adoption settings, there's the offspring, other marriage, other pregnancy. Like there's a lot of things within these menus that you can look at and adjust, and they all come with little tool tips that let you know what they do and what the different settings mean. Also on the MC Command Center website, there is actually documentation about the mod that you can definitely go ahead and go through, because we're not going to be doing a go through of every single one of these menus. We're just looking at the ones that you probably want to adjust based on the neighborhood stories. And then something else that I would look at that I don't know if many people use is in the MC Tuner. So in MC Tuner, there are some interactions that you can make autonomous. I usually turn on autonomous proposals, and sometimes I turn on autonomous marriage. And I know in the first neighborhood stories update, we got the thing where people could call you about marriage and proposal and things like that. I never changed my settings for these. I had autonomous proposals on, but not autonomous marriage, and I never changed my settings for those, and it worked just fine for me. It wasn't crazy or anything like that. And again, as I've said multiple times in this video already, I haven't necessarily played extensively with this, so I don't know if the second update for this neighborhood stories has changed this in any way, but that's just another setting that you can look into if that's something that you really do care about. And there are some other settings here that you can look into. I mean, there's MC Woohoo for different types of pregnancy, which would definitely be useful if you're looking at the have a baby interaction. So when you're thinking, or just like a rundown of the different like settings to look at when you're thinking about neighborhood stories, you should definitely look into MC career. You should definitely look in MC population, MC pregnancy, MC tuner, and if you have it, MC woohoo. And play around with the settings and see how it fares in your game. But the one thing that I can definitely say, that MC Command Center and Neighborhood Stories does work together. My game is stable. It's working fine. I haven't had any last exceptions or anything like that. Let me go ahead and knock on wood, because the way I'm probably going to get a whole bunch of them now. So the question is, do we still need MC Command Center although we have neighborhood stories? And my answer is we absolutely do. You will not have the level of control with neighborhood stories the way you do with MC Command Center. I am an MC Command Center supporter through and through. I definitely believe that all of the other features that MC Command Center has, even if you decide to turn down your MC Command Center settings, will definitely change your gameplay. So, do we still need it? Absolutely. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. If there's something specific that you want me to cover with MC Command Center, definitely go ahead and drop a question in the comments. Also, if you would like to see me play Sims or other games live on Twitch, you can follow me at twitch.tv/I'm Tasha Monet. As always, I'm sending positive vibes your way. I'm Tasha Monet. See you next time.
Sometimes I feel like I done lost it, and I don't even really know the cost yet. But every time fear is on my mind, you remind my soul that I'm free. I know I can't go on my own. You came so I wouldn't have to go it alone. You took the long road so you could show me home. Found love better than I've ever known. So now I know that I can say you are exalted above everything on the earth that I've seen. Cause I know that my dreams come alive in the love that you promised to me. I'll keep singing your praise and you know I believe.